Willie, I'm still here, but I want to try. If I turn off the camera, will it works better?
Okay.
So, Ploy, you can continue to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Sorry that you cannot see my face. Yeah. Good morning. My name is Ploy, and I'm working on this project was inspired by the concept of magical realism. And I'm interested in magical realism in terms of creature, fine arts, and from the first site visit, I found some interesting things.
Ploy,
Yes.
I'm sorry if I ask you, or I want to check if Wei Li can follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you fine. Yeah,
Oh,
I can
good.
hear you.
Okay, so Ploy, you can continue and you can speak slower a little bit. Okay.
So after my first site visit in Noorg, right? I found in geographic and physical terms that row houses with some space or some greenery area in front, they are kind of content with what they have, and they don't put on the landscape posters in their houses because they think that the landscape outside of their houses aren't good enough. But as expected, the row houses in more staff area, more row houses facing another row houses. I found some houses with landscape posters that they put on their walls, and they said that those posters help them calm their minds, and it's difficult for them to travel around, so it's even just post landscapes on posters are good enough for them. And for political term, in the community there are various perceptions of the pandemic, most of the tenants in the row houses, they could accept the misfortune, because it's even more acceptable because all of them, confront the same problems, and they can still work. But they just receive less customers and less OTs. And yeah, there is this concept of living happily with what you have. Is being put in many lessons. It's called sufficiency economy philosophy, and I found that a lot of them still follows this concept, that they have learned, and they learn to be happy with what they have, and they don't want to, and it's fine just like that. But some of them, they are not happy with the lockdown because they couldn't work, and they and what the government tried to help them, they couldn't get the benefit of that because they are old people, and the policies of the government, they only benefit the rich and the people who can use technologies because it has something to do with applications. And they are very angry with the government. And about beliefs in the community, it's very interesting that there are so many various beliefs, in terms of like religions. I found one of them. He's believe in. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's Incubator. Is from China, and he said that there is no need for him to travel because he can be happy, like he believes that happiness depends on one's mind. When you think you are happy, then you are okay, like, yeah, you are fine. And yeah, some of the tenants, they still believe in, ghosts. Like one of them that I interview, they have this mannequin, like girl mannequin, and which is dressed nicely and like with nice wig, and they think that this mannequin contains a spirit of their dead daughter. Yeah, even though I was like, I didn't ask them like about the mannequin, but they wanted to express their belief to me, and they said that that I can like, pray or something, and yeah, I can ask something from their daughter. And the same people with the same house that they have the mannequin, they also believe that garlic can prevent the virus. Like if you eat enough garlic, you will like be immune to the virus. Yeah. And there is in this area with row houses facing another row houses, there is a conflict between tenants. The one tenant, this like a tenant, former resident, like the one that has lived there like long enough, call the other outsiders, like the newcomers, they were called outsiders. And yeah, but the people who have lived there long enough, they share good relationships. But the outsiders, like the newcomers, is the house that has the mannequin and believe that garlic can prevent virus and is very angry with the government. They don't feel the need to, to be included in the community. And I find that quite interesting. That's what I found during the first visit. Yeah.
Okay. So your first visit was on the 21st, right?
Yes.
So for the next semester, 4 months, 3-4 months, you'll be visiting Ratchaburi regularly. Is the plan?
Yeah, like this weekend, no, but next week and the week after, I will be visiting sites, and I will ask them like what kind of landscape they would like to have.
So you're going to, yeah. So you're going to paint the landscape houses? Is this?
I'm not sure if I could hear you correctly because it was blurred. But yeah, I'm gonna put on like a landscape banner, like a large one.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
Mm.
so you use the term magical real. What's your reference for understanding what this term calling? Just so I know what you think about the term, because I have a different. I imagine people have different understanding of the term. It's neither. There's no. I don't think there's a correct way of understanding it. But yeah, but why did you choose this term?
Magical realism.
Yes.
I was interested in its literature, and I think there is a connection between Latin American culture, like culture society, and Thai society. That a lot of, I don't think is like the term magical realism is not that that popular comparing to surrealism or realism, and I think it's interesting to explore more with Thai society. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess I asked that because of I also have a very strong interest in literature, and
Mm-hmm.
my background is that I immigrated to the States when I was about 10, and I lived in the States for 20 years. I received all of my education in the States, and in with this term of magical realism, always had I guess I guess like a Western white understanding of the, because it sounds kind of kitschy, magical, real, like, and it wasn't. So this was always you when you hear this term, it's just kind of you have a kind of it's wrong. It's like, and it's real. What does it mean? I came back in 2002, and then in 2000, I think 2013, I went to Mexico City to do a project for a month. Stayed in Mexico City, and in my and living there, I threw me off. Like it wasn't magical at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's kind of it diminished meaning of how they or why this term came to be. But my rough understanding or my impression of being in Mexico is that I guess it's like they live quite. I think I find it quite harmoniously, not harmoniously, but living with colonial history and the dead is present at all times. And you just, it's not even a question that it's dead. It's like I guess it's like I think a spirit of all times that's just, whether you're dead or alive, the spirit is alive. And you acknowledge it in your everyday life. So it's actually not so it was. I'm just saying this is not about your work. It's my understanding of it. So it kind of destroyed my idea about what it's just. And I just found it rather kind of actually quite ridiculous because there's nothing magical about it. It's actually quite complex. And you, anyway, so after this trip to South America, it kind of, my idea of the term kind of shifted. Yeah. So. But I wouldn't know it in relationship to Thai culture. So yeah. So and then another question is, so if the 21st was your first site visit, like what it will. So obviously you're doing like a field survey to understand the residents and place. So how and with the stories that you just described, it seems, how will this field survey be part of your project? Because very specific of a certain time and place with the pandemic, Rochberry, and how people are dealing with this condition. So, do you see that as part of the work, or is this all right? So, is this survey going to play? Is part of research that you're gonna come up with a visual imagery about it? What I meant is that these two things are quite separate, and yeah. So yeah. So what do you? Yeah.
So you mean the interviewing and the image of landscape posters are separated, right? If I
heard. I guess what I meant, do you view them separately, or is this field survey part of the whole project? Is what
is like at first I thought I didn't know where where can I put this large scale banner on. So I tried to take a survey around, and I try to look if in their houses are there any posters, and I found that only some certain residents that put on posters because they live in a stuffed area without any landscape to see. So they put on, and actually I'm still struggling between what should I do with the because I have audio files of when I interview them. I'm still struggling with what to do with the audio file. I'm gonna transcribe them, but then I'm thinking maybe after I transcribe the audio files, I'll make it into a play or a poem. But then, because there is this theater called Lige Theater in the community, and normally the lige will be played with, background. It's a certain background is really with it's painted. Before it was painted by hands, but now it's digital printed. And I think possible for me to put on the banner that I make, and then I'll make a play in front of it with the transcription that I transcribed from the audio files.
Okay.
And
interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so about the poster, it's I can send you pictures. It looks like
Can't see them right now, but I guess it'll come up later.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, can't seem to see it.
No.
I probably just don't know how to operate this.
How to? Sorry.
Yeah, I can't. I think you sent something, but I cannot see them. I just still only I have to report. Yeah. Yeah.
The picture is on the chat.
You click on the chat button that down.
Down on your.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these are what do you call these are framed paintings from people's houses? Is that what they're from?
No, it's not. They are not paintings. They are
Photos.
Yeah, they're they are. I think they exaggerate the colors to make it more vivid, and they put all kinds of landscape together to make them look nice. Some are with waterfalls from Asia and tulips in front.
Okay.
I see.
Wei Li, did you remember we mentioned yesterday the kind of cliche image, cliche poster in the restaurants and private, that they sell street side.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sort of that posters. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, so you're gonna hang them, or you're gonna put them in the community? Could you explain that again? I think I kind of forgot from what wasn't very clear.
So I'm thinking to put one large one on a wall that all the houses can see. there is one place that there are two row houses facing each other, but like how the rows are tilted a little bit, and I wish I could open the camera. And then when they look from all their houses, they like to the wall, like they all can see this one wall on the opposite side of the street. And I think I'll put one of these on that wall. Like I will make it larger and print it and then put it on that. And I probably maybe, some of them put vinyl commercial banner in front of their house to prevent the sunlight. And I asked them if they would like to, have this landscape like make it into a vinyl instead, because it will also look nice, and it also has a function because it can help preventing the sunlight, and they would like that too. So maybe 2 places on the wall and then in front of their houses.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may want to consider putting some of your interview text on there. Maybe. Because I guess if it was just photos, it seems like a kind of like a conceptual exercise, But if somehow, I guess what I'm just reacting to what you told me in these few minutes, because I thought I guess what I was asking before was like, it seems it's at a very particular time. I think both for you personally and also globally, for this chaos or this virus going on, and it seems to be, I guess it's like not. How do you say it? It's like an inescapable fact. So in a way, you're graduating in another semester. And I find all these conjunctions in time and in events, it's kind of a document of this time. Whereas I think if you were visiting Ratchaburi without the pandemic, then it's a very different situation. Of course, people will gripe about different things, but maybe not be, for example, as annoyed or be so more annoyed with division between. So it gives it, I guess, because it's such a big gesture, right? You're gonna output it on vinyl, quite large scale things, and giving it, I guess, more context. Of course, it will be very artistic context, coming from an artist. It may be a more interesting reading to the banners. But that's I'm just throwing out intuitive idea and a reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
But then again, I think it's such a wow, what a interesting situation you have here, because I spoke to a GNN yesterday, and they said that you have there's a kind of like quite a supportive team of people working with you to do different things, and there's a theater in the community, so there's all kinds of different interesting platforms to make this work. So it's, yeah, I think it's quite a rich condition to realize something.
yeah.
So I may be, I may be kind of not like because you also said you may do plays, so text may play a part, different, have different platforms to be presented. But I guess I'm just reacting to the banner if it was on its own and looking at it objectively on its own. Without, like, let's say if you did later on have plays or printed matter, artist book, and so on, that's different. But yeah. So if that's just part of this whole Rochberry project for you, then you wouldn't need to do that. But I guess, like I said, I imagine if I went there and I saw the banners without knowing where I was, or it would just be quite an obscure work, I guess. Yeah.
I couldn't hear you clearly. Could you say it again? Like that if you went there and see the banner and you would I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, what I meant was like I said, if I was to visit there and see the banners, it would I can't say if I was like a normal person. Obviously, I'm an artist. So if I saw the banners, I would think it's like a very, like I said, like a conceptual exercise. If I was to know that it was either visual, right? It's like it's jarring. It's a juxtaposition. It's Western landscapes in a rural Southeast Asian town, and that's what I meant. Is like I feel like, so obviously it's very how do you say, like it is a interesting juxtaposition. But I would, of course, I would want to know more about why it's there. So I think what I meant was like, if I could have more clues into what it is, then it makes, and further, if I was through this strange photograph, if I could learn more about not your practice, but about Rajabari and the people there, then it's quite it's a more for me, it would be a more interesting reading, I guess. So, does that make sense?
It's because your voice was so blurry, but you were saying this word raspberry. I don't know. I don't understand that word. Could you explain? It is.
If that's the town, right? Am I saying that wrong?
Ratchaburi.
Yeah, Ratchaburi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would like me to explain more about the poster, or
No, I don't. You quite clearly. As I said, I imagine if I saw in this community, and I said, which is if I did see it, I have went to Roxbury one time years ago. So like always, but I, have, so, which is what I meant is like, and I could easily imagine seeing that there. But if I was to have other, I think, clues or narratives behind it, I find that it would be quite fascinating, because through this strange juxtaposition, you actually enter deeper into Rochberry, the place, and a certain time. Yeah, but that's all. It's not that important. Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when will you be installing these banners?
I think it would be in January. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's quite like, end of January. It's quite, I think it's quite a short time, like to be putting myself into the community and trying to understand them, because I don't want to like give out what they don't really want. And yeah, I was reading about your works, and I saw that you have been like, when you work, you were like in one place for such a long time, and I think it makes the concept all stronger with with more time that you spent there. So yeah, I think time is quite short here, so I'm quite a bit worried about that.
Yeah, I guess my suggestion to you would be, from my experiences, obviously I'm a lot older, right? So I have and I've done many of these long-term projects at different places. and there have been several. But I always, still remember the beginning, including the room that I'm in right now. I've been living in this community now for over 4 years. And I must say, I feel like you don't need to think about the residents, because it's kind of, I find it quite presumptuous for artists to think that they would be expected to know about a place and its people from however long much time you have. I don't know if you could arrive at an understanding that everyone has. And everyone has such different relationship to a place that you should just you should actually be even more, I think, intuitive about how you feel, about what you want to do. And of course, it follows you through, there's reasons as to why you chose, for example, the 2 photos, the landscapes that you showed me. There's a reason for you to choose those right now, because it follows your 4 years of art studies. And you should just be as intuitive as you can. Of course, you should, do the homework to do these field surveys, but I wouldn't consider the residents that much at all, because we can't understand all of them. And on the other side of the coin, they're never going to understand what you do. That's my experience of all of these years. And because understanding, I think art and culture is so slow. It's like growing a tree. You cannot understand what a tree will become, and it takes a lot of time for people to understand what it is. And what I mean is that, so if you did have time and you were conscious, and if condition allows, if you can take care of something, to grow something, then through time, hopefully people will understand. So I think what I'm saying, it is like you said, this could be a very short-term intervention. It may not, though. Who knows? After 4 months, later on you go back, or you rent a house next to G, or you live with GNN, or you never know where it goes. And I would, and it seems like you have such a great support group of senior committed teachers to see you through the end of your study, or at least at this college level. And I feel like you should just give it a conclusion to all of these years, and not just to Rochester. Because I think, as I'm talking, hold on. Well, first of all, I'm a very bad, what do you call, like, I don't give good, like, I react very slow. So what I'm saying is may not be the most helpful, you know. But after I said all that, I realized the point that I'm trying to make is that I think what an artist can do for a community is to bring in their own knowledge, and that is your work, because that's all really you could do. We don't know much else. We're not, sociologists, or we're not going to give a collective psychoanalyze what they feel. So I think you should bring in what you're most passionate about and your understanding of why you arrive at choosing these images, and the stories behind that, and what it means to you the most. Yeah, because it's a very challenging and complex relationship between how art can be implemented in areas, or actually because in aesthetic language, or the lack of aesthetic language is very jarring. You're going to art school in Bangkok, like they just like, well, how are they gonna understand? I don't know. Yeah. So
There was one very important point that when you were saying, then is the voice just blurred out? You you were saying that, like, the thing that I can say is to sit with the community. What was that? Sorry. Hello. Can you still hear me?
yes, I hear you fine.
Yeah. Like, you were saying that that I shouldn't worry about, like, whether they would understand what I'm gonna do with them or not. But the thing that I can do is to, and that part was blurred, so I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, well, what I said was like like if like what an artist could do in the community, or for or any profession, is to share the knowledge that you and if condition, ideally, I think if people could share different knowledge, then that's an ideal community, So in a way, what I think it's more interesting for the community and the residents to know what you're doing than you reflecting on what you think that they want. Or that's why my suggestion to you is that, one, of course, you do your field survey and homework diligently, but react to it intuitively. Worry about what the community thinks too much, because we're not going to know. But they would know if you. I think they would be more interesting to know why you chose those images for them. You know what I mean? And that's your personal, ideas and experiences of why you're doing that now at Ratchaburi. Yeah.
Yes. I've never thought about that part. Like, I was always thinking, what should I do to, to make them choose the best picture for themselves. But I never thought about what I want them to see.
Yeah, and I think that's what I meant is I think that's what I learned from my own experience. Is that first of all, people are, plural. I mean, everyone is so different, and they have such different relationship to the place where they live, and their understanding of where they live. And it's how do you, like, I use preposterous, but it's weird to think. I give another example. Like over the years now of my observation for the past almost 20 years is that there's more and more, the idea of art intervention in the community or art. Oftentimes they use in Taiwan, they say art 艺术介入社区, which means art in something like art as an intervention into a community. But my understanding of this is it's actually the opposite way around. It's actually the community will intervene or will put an intervention into the artist. It's like, so it's weird to think that you could influence a community or how you expect people to participate in your art project. I don't think that's the right way to think. It's actually, like I said, it's like the other way around. Actually, the history of the community and the people in it will actually change the artists and how they feel, So it's, so, but both, I can't say that, like it's just, but that's I feel like, so oftentimes like all the projects, some of the things that you saw were like, I actually try to be as invisible as possible. And don't engage too much. And because I think partly the reason of that is because I feel like I mentioned to you, it's like I think I find the condition where I can grow a seed. And the seed, if the condition allows, and if I have the resources and time to take care of it, it will grow, and then it will change. And then people will live with it and see it change. And through a lot of time, this is my way, I guess. And it's through a lot of time and labor and a lot of people and then it grows up, and you don't even question what it is. It's just it has its life, and you will react to in a more natural way. Yeah. But I'm getting sidetracked. So don't be like again, I wouldn't be so concerned with these outside foreign expectations, and I think you create it for yourself because you already have a big audience, including me right now. So don't so yeah, you should bring what you know into the community, not the other way around. At this junction, I'm looking at this whole knowing you is still in college, and it's a very pressurized time, right? And it's so I will continue on what you're most passionate and interested about, and taking that, showing project.
Okay.
I think I already repeated several times.
I know.
Yeah, no. So yeah.
I'm also a slow learner, and now I'm trying to digest what I have heard from you. So maybe now I think I might have some questions in the future, but
I'll read your report, and we'll keep. Of course, we have to, but we keep the conversation questions for next time. Yeah.
But I feel less, concerned with, what I have, because I've never worked with a community before. I usually work just by myself, the subjects that I worked with was just myself or my family, because working in a community, that there are a lot of things to be concerned of. So
and also saying what I just said, you will of course continue to go to Roxbury, and of course you should be as open to experiences and people and places as possible, and that will change too. So but so anyway,
so
okay. Hopefully your video works next time.
I will fix it.
I can read gestures better. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Wei Li.
Yes.
Hey, that's very mean.
I can't hear you very good, and I can't see you, so I don't know.
Yeah, too bad. I mean Ploy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see you. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess the yesterday's room you got better internet strength, I think.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Hold on. Let me change rooms.
No, that's fine.
I don't know if it's that room, but is it better here or no?
Yeah.
No change.
Yeah, it seems better.
Oh, yeah.
You
Okay.
you can try next time then.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the museum house, and the because I was in the far room in the back, and the box the telephone box is closer to this, so okay.
No problem, but I think we caught what you wanted to express. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's very important for Ploy. Ploy is her nickname. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, really,
I
thank
think
you.
we have done very good note, and
Yeah.
we will follow up with Ploy, and we can have an internal discussion later with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll read her report, and then yeah, we keep going. I guess it's yeah, there's a process. Yeah.
So before the next online meeting, maybe Ploy would have some question, and she may ask you when you are convenient, and yeah, just to make a short chat or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No problem. Okay.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, really. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.